Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Metaphor Fantazio. Last time, we entered the Regolith Grand Cathedral catacombs and came face to face with not only one of those magma crystals, but also the reanimated corpse of our old friend Grius. Thanks to the help of Hulkenberg awakening to the Knight archetype, we were able to put him down for good. Rest well, friend. Rest well. We also made a lot of preparations for our eventual venture into the Grand Cathedral, which just looms over us like this. And today, we are going to be doing a little bit more preparation and just seeing what the townsfolk have to say. I want to go ahead and preface this right now. We will not be going into the Grand Cathedral today in this episode. This will be entirely social focused, and if that's not really your cup of tea, I get it, but I do recommend still watching this video as, you know, with the calendar system and everything, you might get lost on a few days if you don't keep watching. But if you really don't want to watch this and you want to skip for the action, just go to the next video now if it's still available. If you're watching this as it's coming out, tough luck! Anyways, the first thing I want to do today is I want to highly recommend, and I recommend this for the entire game, talk to everyone that you can, especially after major story beats. Not only will there be some really interesting dialogue, and people might be able to give you certain items, but also you might miss out on some memorandum entries if you're really trying to go for 100%. That is something you can miss if you aren't prudent with your talking to people. So I'm going to go around the cathedral and we're going to talk to some NPCs. I won't make you listen to all of these conversations, I'll just hit the highlights. Hey, there no issues, right? Oi, you listening? Oi, wake up! We're in the middle of guard duty! The army's short-handed as it is. We've got to do our jobs. Hello, you look fairly intimidating. Hey, you an elder. You don't work for Luis, do you? I don't. Whatever. But if you do anything suspicious, I'll send you straight to the gallows. You hear me? I'd like to see you try. Well, that's what I'd like to say, but we have nothing to gain and everything to lose if we start picking fights. Yeah, let's get away from this rogue here. I don't think we talked to these Ishkia whenever we talked to this huge crowd here, so let's see what they have to say. Hey, can we go now? First a statue with faces and now with dead bodies. This is getting too weird. Actually, they're all quite interesting. Why don't we try getting closer? You can't be serious! Why is something like that here in the royal capital to begin with? I mean, you can thank Luis for that giant human corpse, or are you talking about these guys? Poor fellows. Unfortunately, if we were to look at some of these, the victim of the Grand Cathedral, the damage will only get worse if the turmoil inside doesn't stop. I don't think it's easy to see here, but I'm assuming based on the fact that they don't even have graves to put them in, these are probably just Parapus or Mastari that most people don't give a crap about. Very unfortunate. Over here by all the markets, there's this guy. We'll talk to him. Angry man. You don't look angry, but, you know, maybe you're just holding it inside. It disgusts me how useless the state army is. Seems the debacle of the Grand Cathedral won't be resolved anytime soon. I'd wager they don't even know about what to do with the human corpse. Perhaps they should just have... Maybe they should have just dissolved the army before worrying about the Mage Academy, The Mage Academy shut down? I don't know why myself. One day researchers like me had jobs there, and the next we didn't. We were robbed of our home, no thanks to the church's meddling. All this prejudice against elder like you there is their doing too, you know. They must have some motive, if you ask me. Good to speak with a kindred soul under the church's heel. Take this. I'd like you to have it. It's good luck. Hey, a Maglapil! Again, NPCs might give you items if you just talk to them. Pretty valuable. What do you have to say, sir? Oh, damn it, this is the worst. Looks like there's some bugs mixed in with the spices. I can already picture that Clamar regular of mine all red in the face screaming at me. Looks like I'll be down a customer from now on. I have a feeling this might be hinting at the gold beetle that we saw yesterday that was hidden inside those bags of spices. Pretty useful if you don't know about that originally. Could be a hint. A soldier that tried to bring down Luis. Is he going to be branded a criminal for it? Why would he be? Look at this mess that Luis made of the royal funeral. And he all but publicly declared he took the king's life with his own 2 hands. He was a soldier trying to take revenge on a king-slaying traitor. He should get a statue, if anything. True enough, I suppose. I wouldn't want to think of the man as a common criminal. You're not the only one. All the soldiers supporting Luis left Grand Trad on his fancy Skyrunner. Safe to say that all the boots left in Grand Trad, myself included, hate Luis's guts. I just hope that if that poor man left any family behind, they're taken care of. Don't worry. We'll make sure of that. There are plenty of shops to see around in the Grand Cathedral, but I want to hold off on that, and let's head towards Sun Lumio Street. Let's make use of our fancy new sword surfing technique. There actually is a Steam achievement, if you're curious, to glide around on your sword for a certain amount of distance. I don't know off the top of my head, but there is one. I've already got the achievement, so I don't need to do this too much, but if you're wanting Steam achievements, I would suggest playing through this game and doing the sword surfing as much as humanly possible. I went through a full playthrough of this game, and I did not get the Steam achievement for the sword surfing, which made me feel a little self-conscious about how fast I was going through things, but yeah, just want to go ahead and make that recommendation. Laggard Coachman. Listen up, people. We've made it to Grand Trad. Got a bit of unfortunate news for you, though. There's been a monster outbreak at the Grand Cathedral, not unlike what happened in your hometown. What? What? I thought we'd finally escape the attack on the village by coming here. Yeah, these unfortunate folks, most of them are Parapus, too. Trying to find a new, better life in an unfortunate village attacked by humans, only to come here, facing prejudice and a monster outbreak. Yeah, things aren't looking great. Now, something that I have not mentioned before is that there is actually a tavern here in Sun Lumio Street. There's also some text up here. We will get into that later, but I want to go into this tavern. Hello, lots of people to talk to. I want to talk to this guy right here, the Kurt owner.
What am I gonna do?
Oh, Elda, huh? Well, I don't mind you coming in if you're just gonna eat. Sorry, but could I ask you to keep your head down? The Sanctus Pilgrims won't hide their contempt for the Elder if they see you. So we can use our Kurt owner friend here to talk about things like the Grand Cathedral incident, or the city, or why the church hates Elda. We kind of already get this, so could you tell us about the incident?
You are.
Is anything to know beyond it all became a right mess? It's all that customers chatter about now, endless whinging about how terrified they are of humans. And I've got to stand here when their tears start flowing and the ale kicks in. But even after all that's happened, some of them still support Luis. Boggles the mind, I tell you. What do the customers got to say about this? The tavern keeper here is a class act. They don't use any platypus cooks in their kitchen, even though they'll work for cheap. Yes, that's good to hear. Though I must say, having this Elder here blight my vision is somewhat unpleasant. These people are the worst. Mind, I was like, I don't want to talk to these people. Nope.
What is it?
What do you want, you louse? What do you think you are, staring at me like that? You want some of this too? Oof. This fine ambrosia would be wasted on the lips of some elder child. Get your own cheap drinks at Sunshine Row. Hey man, Sunshine Row's good. Where is... I'm trying to find... What? Oh, I think it is you, actually. Yes, it is you. Oh, I'm quite sorry. You've likely heard the people in this tavern speaking ill of the others on the basis of their tribe. They give their opinions too freely, especially once there's a few pints in them. Please take this as a token of apology. You'll come back again if you like. Hey, thank you, Soothing Sweet Bun. I don't think that's an item we've seen just yet, so let's go ahead and take a look-see. Ah, here you are. A baked snack shaped like a ring that gives one peace of mind, cures anxiety for one ally. I talked about how much I don't like that ailment already, and how I think it's probably the strongest negative ailment in the game. Good to have that. Now, nearby the Honeybee Inn, literally right outside of it, there's one more thing I want to make mention of. This fellow, right over here. Knowledgeable man.
Hey.
If I may ask you just one thing. Are you all going to the Grand Cathedral?
Why?
Hey, who told you that? Well, thanks for giving us away, Gallica. Hey, calm yourself. There's no need to be so wary. I won't say a word about it to anyone else. On the contrary, I'd like to help you. I've got intel on the monsters within the Grand Cathedral, and you could always use more information, couldn't you? Information? I'm what some call an informant. I sell information. So, how about it? Any interest in paying for knowledge? Buying intel gives you more than just what you've heard from an informant. It has various effects, such as unlocking information about enemies in battle using analyze. Informants can be found skulking in taverns across Euconia, or outside of them. Consider seeking them out, especially if you want hints about what to do next. You can view information you've purchased in the item section of the main menu via the information panel.
What?
As for my sources, well, that's privileged information. I can't tell you. But rest assured, they're highly reliable. Informants are the unsung heroes of Metaphori Fantazio, giving you information that will be pivotal to your full game experience, even if you do have a strategy guide. Talk to these guys as often as you can. He currently only has the Grand Cathedral status. Learn about the current state of the Regolith Grand Cathedral. According to reports, it's teeming with monsters. Thanks.
Hey.
If you're set on going into the Grand Cathedral, be wary. I've heard that place is a veritable den of monsters now. I must assume that it's the work of that man, the necromancer. Ugh. Just the thought of bones and corpses moving on their own sends a chill down my spine. I've heard they're weak to light magic. In addition, the skeletal ones are weak to physical blows. Let your fists fly and smack them around a bit. I've also heard about a moving stone statue.
Just between us.
I couldn't tell you why, but there's statues in there that come to life. They're apparently immune to sword attacks, so be careful. I've heard that they're weak to wind magic, so if you're heading there, keep light, wind, and weapons in your arsenal. That's all I know. I know a little of your motives, but regardless, I hope you succeed. That man needs to be stopped to end this madness at the cathedral. Thanks. We now can check that item in our, we can check the scrap of paper in the items list if we need to. Well, let me know if you need anything else you want to hear about. I know the city like the back of my hand. I'll stay here a while, but my regular haunt is the Honeybee Inn.
You're right.
Does sound like his information could be useful to us. But the Honeybee Inn, shady-looking guy like him is a regular here? Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the history that this place has. Anyways, yeah, so these informants are really the ultimate guides of Metaphori Fantazio. Sorry, Gallica, it's only been, 10 episodes and you're already out of a job. Now, with all that said and done, that's all the NPCs I wanted to go around and talk to. So, let's go ahead and tackle another side quest. Young Nydia.
Oh.
Enelda. Sorry, but would you mind keeping distance from... No, wait. Are you perhaps the Elder who's been frequenting the Hushed Honeybee Inn of late? Am I that famous? I mean, thanks, but...
Grand, isn't it?
Well, for better or for worse, your tribe certainly stands out. But more importantly, your reaction gave you away. You do frequent the Honeybee. You see, I work in a very high-end hotel as an apprentice cook, but so far, all I've been entrusted with are chores. My dream is to become a 5-star chef. To that end, I've been researching the various cuisines of the city, and the Hushed Honeybee has caught my nose, if you will. And I made the mistake of telling my superiors I wanted to go, but they stopped me cold. If I learn to cook from a platypus, it will damage our kitchen's reputation, they said.
Now what am I to do?
They told me if I even get caught setting foot in Sunshade Row, I'd be fired on the spot. I'm Nydia, and he doesn't even trust me. It's the same tired prejudices. Nydias are liars and cheats, and so on. So, if it's not too much trouble, could I ask for your help with something? I'd like you to go and help out with the cooking at the Hushed Honeybee, and then report back to me about what it was like. The only catch is, my employer has some high-priority guests coming soon, so if possible, I'd like you to get back to me by June 19th.
Please, if there's anything you can do...
I'd like to learn about the ingredients, what the kitchen's like, and of course, the taste of the food. Naturally, I'll make it worth your while. How's that sound? Sure, I can do that.
Thank you much.
Oh, thank you so much. You're truly kind agreeing to help out a stranger you've only just met. I'll finally know what makes that kitchen tick.
Let's give it
I need to help out at the Hushed Honeybee Inn on Sunshade Row in Grand Strand for the man who wants to research cooking. Apparently, the Hushed Honeybee Inn is always busy at night. We will get 3 Magla pills, wisdom, and 2,000 Reeve.
Come on.
Just like that, you're agreeing to help that guy? But I suppose Fabienne has helped us a lot, so it wouldn't hurt to pay her back by helping in the kitchen. From what I've heard, the Hushed Honeybee is really busy at night, so in the sunsets, let's ask Fabienne about what we can do to help.
What on earth are you
Alrighty, so now we have a side quest. Unfortunately, we have to wait for it to be nighttime in order to begin it. So, how do we pass time? Well, you could technically go into the dungeon right now and be perfectly fine. However, you would not be able to do anything that following night. So, we need to find another way to pass the time. Thankfully, there's plenty of places to do that. First things first, I think we need to talk to you again. You were the first lady we met that was super racist to us. Maybe you've changed your tone?
Ugh, come on.
This is the worst. Oh, and you're still here, Elda? Everything started to go wrong once you showed up. Face in the sky, the disaster at the cathedral. It's just all as the teachings of Sanctism foretold. Evil, sinful tribe. This is because you defied the teachings. Get out of Grand Trad at once. Never mind. Still crazy. Still crazy. Anyways, as I was saying, there are plenty of ways to pass time. And remember, if you were to click on something, let's say this view of the royal capital that has this icon over it,
Something up?
well, take a breather. There's a nice view, and it's important to stop and smell the roses, you know? Besides, watching how the people in Grand Trad live might broaden your horizons. If I spend some time gazing at the scenery, my wisdom should broaden. That's going to take some time, so if you had other plans for the day, let's come back another time.
Oh,
So what's the plan? Care for a short break? As a reminder, if you see this little clock symbol right here, that will signify whether or not time is going to pass if you perform this action. Very, very nice. But yeah, let's go ahead and just sit around.
okay.
Alright then it's decided.
Whoa.
The streets are packed, but at least it's not as huge a crowd as the royal funeral had. Sure, a bunch of nobles on the main street and around the Grand Cathedral. I can see some Kalmar, Rogue, and even some Ishkia. But if you head to the back streets, you'll see more Paraplus. Guess that's what a class divide looks like. And then there's you, the only Elda in town. It's crazy how people will say the most vile things right to your face. I don't let it get to me.
Listen.
It doesn't really bother me. It's very strong of you, but if anything does get under your skin, make sure to speak up. Let's not hide anything from each other, okay?
Well,
Personally, I don't see much difference among the tribes, but I bet a lot of people would disagree with me there. Gazing out to the sights of the capital with Gallica makes me feel like I've broadened my wisdom.
Alright.
Extra 2 points to wisdom. Gallica and I headed home while discussing the people and stores we passed along the way. There's some pretty cool stuff, so I don't blame them. 10 degrees Celsius. Oof. Alright. Now that it's nighttime in the Honeybee Inn, we could technically go cook with Fabienne. That's our quest right now, right? But actually, I want to talk to our buddy here, the knowledgeable man, who's just, skulking about. You guys really like having him stand behind you while you eat? You know what? I'm not going to bother with that.
Fancy a bit of info.
What is it that you want to know? We now have 2 new information pieces to talk to about him. Ingredients of Grand Trad. Learn about the ingredients you can acquire in Grand Trad.
Hey!
There's a lot of ingredients available in Grand Trad. Right, if you want to cook something, then the butcher sells Bideau meat, and there's some other shops that sell red grass. The water shop sells pristine clear water. Well, same as any city, really. And if memory serves, I heard something about being able to make a dish from Fabienne's hometown. Why not try it out? Received a scrap of paper, thank you. And also, Secret of the Red Grass Shop. Learn about the man who sells the ingredients only to select clientele near the Grand Cathedral. If you do not get this piece of information from the informant, you cannot purchase from this shop.
Just between
There's
us.
a stall at the market in front of the Grand Cathedral that sells red grass. You know, the herb that Fabienne uses in a certain dish of hers. Matter of fact, red grass originates from the region where you'll also find Fabienne's hometown. It's not that far from Grand Trad, but the herb is difficult to find here. I mean, yeah, we're in the middle of a desert. For that reason, the shop owner only sells it to his trusted regulars. Any stranger who tries to buy it will likely get shooed away.
Very nice.
But you're no stranger, are you? You already know Fabienne, of course, and you're also an acquaintance of Grius's. So, if that's what you're after, try mentioning him to the shopkeep. Get on that list of regulars of his, and you'll be able to obtain a fairly valuable ingredient. Receive a scrap of paper with the information inside.
I'm just...
Well, let's go see if we can do that. And off we go to the Grand Cathedral again. Now look at this thing at nighttime. Oh my goodness. Could you even imagine living in a situation like this? Where there's just this floating face in the sky that is glowing day and night. I feel like that'd be terrifying. But it's got this awesome factor to it that I'm gonna be talking about this today. I was gonna save this topic for later, but after we're done with this, I'm definitely gonna talk about this.
Oh there.
You interested in these herbs here? Sorry, I only sell to my regulars. Well, do you know Grius? Grius? Don't tell me, are you the one who's been hanging around the honeybee lately? One of his friends, truly? I come from the same town as Fabienne, so Grius and I met a long time ago. The man helped me countless times. I was quite sad to hear of his passing, though I think that deep down I always knew that things with him would end like this. Anyway, I couldn't possibly turn away a friend of Grius. So, were you looking for some of my red grass? Buy as much as you like, it's 150 reeve a piece, or 4 for 500 reeve. Let's take the 4, we got the money for it.
Can we talk?
Red grass seems like a useful cooking ingredient. You got 0 right now, what do you want to do? I'm purchasing it, so I have 5. Sorry, 4, I can count. Great, 4 red grass then. Thank you kindly for your generosity. Feel free to come again anytime. 4 red grass. And then we were told to buy some Bidot meat and some pristine clear water, so let's go ahead and do that.
Tastes quite fresh.
The panic at the cathedral is bringing in more people. You there, won't you buy some of our water?
Fancy a chat?
It's not just any old water, you know. You won't find such clean, well water anywhere else. My husband goes through loads of trouble to bring you back here, so please, don't say it's overpriced. Well, I'll be the judge of that. 50 reeve for pristine clear water. This is an ingredient that is used in a lot of recipes, so I'm gonna buy, if you do not have the money for this, because you don't have the pre-order stuff, I would suggest maybe buying 3 or 4. I'm gonna buy 10. And there's also the fruit cordials. Mildly sweet beverage made of water-diluted fruit juice. Restores 30 MP to 1 ally. I'll buy one of these. Actually, nah, I won't even buy any of those. Thank you. Our water is prized as drinking water, but it's useful for cooking as well. If I ever get the chance to cook somewhere, I should be trying this. Oh, don't worry. We will, very soon. There's also another shop that I want to go talk to, because I think we need some Bidot meats.
Dear me.
Oh my, and Elda, and one with such beautiful eyes at that. Have my paintings caught your eye? If so, you better taste than my parents. Huh. But I do apologize. All of the works here were commissioned by the nobility. So what can I offer? Aside from my paintings, I sell glasswork as well. Even the sanctors buy them to decorate their churches. My glasswork protects its owner from all manner of misfortune, including illness. Just carrying it around will place you under God's protection.
Please, if you might deign to help.
And best of all, I sell them at a price even commoners can afford. So what can you say? Vitality Pendant. For 5,600 reeve. No thank you. Oh, did nothing strike your fancy? A shame. If you ever change your mind, do come by again. We might look into that later. Burly Butcher. That whole cathedral business has brought in a lot of customers. I had no choice but to stay open. So, what will you have?
Actually,
I used to think meat was only cooked at home or shops, but these gauntlet runners the rich folk have kitchens in them apparently. Gauntlet runners. I'd like to try riding in one someday. Bidot meat, all he sells, actually, interesting. Bird meat. Again, if you do not have the money, I'd suggest buying 1, maybe 2. I'm gonna get... I'll get 4. Flat 1,000 price.
come again, mate.
Why thanks, we pride ourselves on our meat's quality. Meat quality. Cook it right and you'll have a fine meal in your hands. That is usually how bird meat works. Not a really big fan of bird meat. I haven't had a lot of it in my time. I had duck meat once. It was very, very greasy. It was very all over the place. Maybe it just wasn't cooked properly, but it was alright. It wasn't my favorite thing. But before we go back to the Honeybee Inn, I want to go ahead and talk about something. This is going to be off the cuff, because I was actually going to talk about this at a later point, but I think I might as well do it now. So, I have mentioned loads of times already about how Grand Chariot at Nighttime is one of my favorite vistas in the entire game. In fact, it's one of my favorite vistas in any game, honestly. I just love how the lights look at night with the magma crystals everywhere and the, floating head in the sky and corpses all over the place. But that last part aside, it's a very, very unique and stunning, beautiful vista. And I want to go ahead and talk about one of the key developers for Metaphor Fantazio, the concept artist, Kazuma Koda. Now, some people might recognize that name. Kazuma Koda, you might know him for his workings and as a concept artist for franchises like Nier Replicant, Nier Automata, or Code Vein, or some of the Fire Emblem entries like Three Houses and Engage. Hell, he even worked on Bayonetta. This guy's art is insane, and he's responsible for some of the key concept art of Metaphor Fantazio, including things like Will and Stroll fighting a human, or Grand Trad itself, or, of course, the floating head in the sky of the late king. The concept art and the initial visual style of this game, the way that they intend for you to see it, is genuinely stunning. Atlas as a development team has made some genuinely beautiful games. When you look at the concept art and you look at what they intend for you to see, there's some stunning visuals across their entire lineup of games. And this may be a bit hasty for me to say. I mean, there's always new games coming out. But I think they nailed it with Metaphor. I do not think there is an Atlas game that I prefer the visual style of more than this one. And that is saying something. I love the way that Persona 5 looks, Shin Megami Tensei 4 and 5, the UI style of Persona 3 Reload and Soul Hackers 2 are amazing. Shin Megami Tensei 3 has some very interesting looking visuals and very ethereal vibes to it. But I think Metaphor knocks it out of the park, and I think all of that starts with the concept art. So yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Kazuma Koda. I think that he was the beginning of why this game is so visually stunning to me. Anyways, let's go cook some bird meat. Now, cooking is a little bit more complicated than you might think. For one, you need the required ingredients in order to make a recipe that you want to do. And two, you know what? Actually, we'll just talk about that when we get in there, aren't we? We always get a flood of guests at night. Looks like it's going to be another hectic one. If you're free, could you lend me a hand with preparing food? If you'd like to help out, feel free to use the kitchen as you please. And if you have the ingredients, I can show you how to make red grass roasted Bordeaux. Seems like Fabienne's having a hard time. She's done a lot for us, so the least we can do is return the favor and help her out when we can. If I help Fabienne prepare food, my tolerance should improve.
That reminds me.
Oh, that reminds me. There was someone who wanted to know what it's like helping with cooking here. We can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Should we help Fabienne out? Yeah, I want to make some red grass roasted Bordeaux. Here on the side of the screen are going to be the ingredients required to make red grass roasted Bordeaux. I'll be showing this for every single recipe. Alright, let's do it.
You're a big help.
Looks like you have all the right ingredients to make red grass roasted Bordeaux. Let's get you prepped and into the kitchen, shall we?
Next up is...
Let's see here. A red grass roast, right? No problem. Fabienne taught us all the ins and outs of this recipe.
Oh, right.
How about we make a few tweaks to this dish while we're at it? So, your performance and the amount of points of tolerance you get will be determined on your actual response here. If you want the proper response, I will be showing it to you here. I will always be picking the best choice I can for these certain things. But on screen now, I will show you how many points you will get regardless of that. Anyways, I think it's best if we stick to the recipe. It is Fabienne's after all.
No.
I think we should stick to the original recipe.
Exactly.
That's fair. I suppose it is Fabienne's signature dish, and she was kind enough to teach us how to make it. We don't want to piss off the customers who are expecting red grass roasted Bordeaux. Galka and I poured our hearts into the preparation. A delicious aroma wafts through the room.
You did it.
Wow, we did a really good job with this one. Are you secretly some kind of master chef, Will? I like that show. Looks like I did a good job helping out. I feel my tolerance has improved.
Alright.
3 points. We're getting there. Red grass roasted Bordeaux. I continued to help out as the night went on. Oh, right. Someone wanted to hear more about the honeybee. I should visit the young man on Sunlumio Street.
Marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
That necromancer mentioned a day of calamity. Pretty ominous, but what does it even mean? Luis's orders or not, 'twas the necromancer who committed those acts of brutality we witnessed at the royal funeral. He undoubtedly prepares more of the same.
Right.
Well, we're going to be putting a stop to that corpse-robbing bastard before that happens. If the state army can't handle him, then it falls to us to do it. The day of calamity we were warned about is just 9 days away. We need to stop that necromancer before then. Don't worry, we'll be on it. Just give me a second. I had to go cook for Fabienne. She takes precedence, damn it.
We're off.
Anyways, let's go talk to that fellow and report this quest back. Over here, buddy, we have experience to tell you about. Also, yes, this guy is a Nydia. You can tell him apart. I don't think I've actually talked about Nydia. You can tell Nydia apart by their very, very luscious eyes. That's really about it. In fact, this pompous man we talked to, he himself a Nydia. You can tell by his eyes. Very cool. Nothing else about them. Ah, have you perhaps helped out at the Hushed Honeybee? Please, tell me what it's like there. So, the honeybee's cooking is actually pretty good. It gave me a lot of tolerance. I recounted him the full story of my time as a sous chef. I had a fairy speaking in my ear the entire time. I see, so it's all in the preparation. If I'm hearing you right, it sounds like as though Miss Fabienne is rather particular about the ingredients she uses. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten enough points if I didn't go with her exact recipe. This red grass you mentioned. Not just anyone can get their hands on that, can they? I knew she was no ordinary innkeeper. As I believed, I mentioned, the place I work serves high-class clientele, and the head chef, not to mention the customers, put too much emphasis on tribe. Just being a Nydia, I get the cold shoulder from Clamar and Rogue, nobles in particular. To be expected in society as it stands today. The head chef doesn't want people like that to even see me holding a knife. Probably why he sticks me with all the busy work and chores. I suppose I should be grateful I have a job at all, honestly. But still, there are lots of days when I question why I'm putting up with any of this. So I just wanted confirmation of a simple fact that I've always known to be true. That the skill of a chef has nothing to do with one's tribe. Hearing about the Hush Honeybee has renewed my inspiration to keep cooking. I don't know where it'll take me, but I'm ready to throw myself into the proverbial frying pan. Oh, and of course, I need to thank you properly for what you've done. Here, take this as a token of my gratitude. Thank you!
Mission accomplished.
We got ourselves our 3 Magla pills, increased wisdom, and 2,000 reeve. Paying back a lot of the stuff we used to purchase the ingredients for the Bidot. And that right there has given us wisdom level 2. We are now informed.
Wisdom.
'Tis one of the virtues a ruler must possess. If thou aspire to true sovereignty, fill thyself with thy knowledge, the knowledge to discern truth from falsehood. A conqueror needs that precious kindling with which a follower's passions may be inflamed. For better or worse, we've learned a lot about this country's attitudes towards different tribes. Who knew prejudice could even extend to cooking? But it's heartening to know people are working to make it better. So, we've got to keep our own fight, too. Alright, so, if we push square, we can now see our wisdom is at level 2, which means we get access to new things. Our courage, we are a craven. We are inflexible in our tolerance. We are tongue-tied in our eloquence. And we are vapid in our imagination. We are definitely a head-empty boy, it seems. But we do have a higher wisdom than some people would be. Now, before we wrap up for today, there's one more thing I need to do. I want to go to the church. Because now that we have wisdom level 2, we can purify items. Let's go ahead and purify. Foreman's jacket. We can now purify to have 105 defense. We need the mining uniform and blessed water. We have 2 of those. We only have 1 mining uniform that can give us a foreman's jacket. Now, this gives us 105 defense, 3 evasion, and reduces the damage from being hit by our weakness. This is an item that I would highly recommend purifying, especially if you're on higher difficulties, primarily hard mode. If you're on Regicide, you're probably dead regardless if your weakness gets hit, despite this armor. Hard mode, though, this could be the difference between life and death. There's also Dragon's Judgment, which requires Dragon's Indignation and a Blessed Water. Again, the Dragon's Indignation weapon is a one-time thing that you could not have gotten if you didn't face the dragon. And we can make it stronger, getting ourselves an extra 33 attack. Our normal attacks for Stroll will become Fire Affinity, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. It means that he can hit fire weaknesses with his regular attack, but it also means that if enemies resist or have some kind of immunity, Stroll actually can't hit them with his regular attacks. It's a double-edged sword, but I highly, highly recommend getting this. Purify. And because we have the Blessed Water to do so, let's go ahead and purify this Foreman's Jacket. And I think we will give this to Will, as he is our most frail party member. Either that, or I'd give it to Stroll, but I don't think we're going to run into wind damage weaknesses here. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We can always switch it around, but I'll put it on Will for now. Awesome. Well, now that we've made that preparation, I think that about does it for today. Next time on Metaphory Fantazio, we begin our climb to the Regolith Grand Cathedral to stop that Necromancer. So, with that said, see you soon.